have a trading system I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you the EasyLanguage for this. It's a free strategy session for EasyLanguage. And this is a strategy that works really well, especially from this time frame. But the main thing I want to point out here is that you can use a strategy to characterize a market. And so what this strategy does is it takes advantage, it's called opening chop. And so we look for opening chop at the beginning of the day. You see a short, a long, and a short. And the purpose of this is if there's a profitable strategy, even if it's not tradable, 23 average trade profit. We'll have to go back and look what the average trade profit is from May, because it's done pretty well since then, and it's almost tradable, if not tradable, from that time frame. A lot of volatility in February made it not as tradable, but the main point is you can characterize a strategy and use that characterization of a strategy to tell you what to do with another strategy in the market. For example, Tick Pulse has had a difficult time at the beginning of the day. A lot of false trades, a lot of trades that maybe it shouldn't take, and especially this month. It's been a choppy month in Tick Pulse. And so what does this strategy tell us? Here is the code for this strategy, and this trades between 9:30 and 11. So between 9:30 and 11, if there's a lot of chop and a strategy that does well going counter trend, works really well during that open hour and a half to 2 hours, should you trade your strategy that is a trend momentum strategy during that time? And the conclusion could be made that, well, maybe not. Maybe the first hour and a half is for choppy strategies and trend strategies after that. And so there's a lot of theory behind this based on the chop at the beginning and end of the day with the trend in the middle. And it used to be inverse of that, where the trends were at the beginning of the day and end of the day with the chop in the middle, but that's kind of inverted itself a little bit. And you see a test down here for the end of the day too, which actually shows some profitability as well. And so you end up getting trends in the middle of the day where you used to get trends at the beginning and end of the day. And so let's take a look at this strategy again. And so we can say, okay, we have a really profitable strategy. We don't want to trade it, but we'll maybe make a better strategy that does counter trend trades at the beginning of the day, and we won't trade our trend strategies at the beginning of the day. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like for Tick Pulse. So this is the original Tick Pulse with the $1,000 stop loss, no profit target, and VWAP filter. It's taken a beating since 10:30. So we trade this in the portfolio, and it's just been a very manipulative type market that seems to happen in November when the bulls get in charge. They generate a buy signal, and then they hem and they haw, and then they run it down and create a sell signal, then they rally. And you're talking about 15 points here in the last 30 minutes of trade, and so 20 points from here. And so I hated to see this signal yesterday, and I didn't like the signal, and so there is chop at the end of the day as well. But what can we do if we only take trades starting after 11 o'clock? Here's the performance summary. Here are the stats. Let's take a look and see if those results improve if we put the starting time at 11 o'clock instead of 9:35. So we see the results are better. Average trade profit is higher. The drawdown is lower, and you get this performance graph. Still went through a losing streak right here. And so we're sticking with it, because what we did last year is on November the 15th, which is, you can't really see, but it had a big drawdown. We don't have the data for this, but I have it in Excel if you want that. But from around November 15th was a low in this point right here, and I stopped trading it right here, and then it had this huge run up even into February. A lot of that volatility, we did really well. We didn't do well because we weren't trading it, but Tick Pulse did really well. And then we come into this time period, and we've had to make some adjustment because this volatility has been different than the volatility in February. And so we're sticking with this, and we're long today. Actually, we haven't made this update in our strategies, and so we have this long trade going in Tick Pulse. Here are some of the live strategies you see trading with Tick Pulse long right here, and soybeans short down here. And so we continue to stick with this portfolio and the adjustments that we talked about. And that is the update for today on Tick Pulse and how to use a strategy. such as opening chop, to help you find a characteristic of a market.